Yes, as we come to life here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman early morning. Good morning to you as my chat's blowing up all last night, early today, because all my friends are dead. All my friends are dead. They got kicked in the head. All my friends are dead. They got smacked in the head. I always knew that it would end up like today. They bought the bullet and they paid with hand grenades. Hey, 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 infidels. And we're about to fire some shots back because it's the Friday locker room, and holy cow, is there news. Yalla. Oh. Stevie, heard any good rumors lately?
Yeah. I heard a big rumor going around wrestling circles. Everybody knows about this. I'm developing a power band program, and I'm sure that's the talk of the town right now, especially around the I'm an essential fitness instructor online. So that's the new term I use. We are an essential podcast, all without the bribes, all without the essential bribes to be the essential businesses that we are. It's a great time to be alive for a little bit at least.
Yeah, are we alive? I don't know, man. At this point, with
I wish it was a simulation theory. It'd be fucking a lot easier to deal with.
It feels like some multiverse shit as every slide gets closer to idiocracy, man. It's insanity. It's some Susan Powder stop the insanity shit right now, right? So I see chat room starting to fill up here already at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Black Shreds, Fitzy, Ken Sorrell, Domino first to the chat. Good morning to you. This is your Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Friday Locker Room, recorded on Thursday morning early from FEMA Camp Region 2 and FEMA Camp Region 4, I believe. But those borders can always be redone. That's not a problem. But yeah, man, we're here trying to give you guys great content, and it started blowing up yesterday. It has been an absolute bloodbath at WWE. There's obviously so much going on as the world shuts down. It was bound to catch up, but we'll get into being an essential business and just insanity of what is happening, and also the real corporate and business moves that you make to try and save your stock price. So ya Allah, man. But there are people we know directly and came up with, and then there's obviously you go back with a Lance Storm or somebody farther than I do, and there's just that feeling of like, I just remember when he's like, I'm closing my school and going to coach or whatever, or going to be an agent, and it just felt like, not like, yeah, I'm back, because that's not really Lance Storm, I don't think, like slamming in people's face, but like, I said to myself, why would you close your school? Like, why? That's the bread and butter of why your school would sell, is because you're an agent going, and you have that pipeline to get guys in. He closed his shit down. He moved, and 4 months later, now that's all done. I've been talking to Serena all morning. Obviously I care so much about her. We've been friends since the beginning of our wrestling careers. Pat Buck, kind of just getting called up. Another guy I got a lot of respect for is Ace Steel. Let go as well. So a lot of people definitely in our inner circle and whatnot. And then we'll get to it in all the news. But your first reactions to everything going on?
Well, my heart goes out to each and every one of them. I know what it feels like. But we also can't ignore the fact that when you're there and you're miserable and you know that the hammer's going to fall, because a lot of these people knew eventually the hammer was going to fall. The Zack Ryders, the Kurt Hawkins, the people they weren't doing anything with, the people that were just kind of coasting through and waiting for the call, much like I was for like the last 2-3 years before they released me. I was just there. A Lance Storm, especially an Ace Steel, who has just worked so hard. Everybody works hard, but there's something to be said, because Luke Hawx was in this position many, many times. And he said no because he has Wildcat, because he has the school, but kind of like Lance Storm, but also he had a promotion, stunt work, acting, and they wanted him to give up all that to go to the Performance Center to coach, still be an independent contractor, very little money, very little upward mobility salary-wise, because what are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to say? I deserve to go from 50 to 100 or 35 to – what's your case there? We got 18 coaches. So he knew that, like, once I go there, I'm giving up everything, every bit of freedom, every bit of other income, producing business. And maybe that's a prerequisite, because if they said that to Luke, they kind of said, oh, you can keep your school, but you got to be here for 6 months. It was kind of an impossibility to do both.
Right.
So they never say no, but they'll create a situation
you have to have
where
somebody who was a partner like Sin Bodhi and D'Lo. If one of them got
like
pulled,
I would help out if I lived in the area, with Luke.
Absolutely.
But maybe Lance didn't have that either. And he could, because his face is on there and his name is attached to whoever comes out of the school. And he takes that very seriously. No pun intended. I just look at it too, like, man, when the second I knew, which was like a couple years before, I was trying to build my own brand. I started a podcast, a tech podcast, a tech YouTube channel, which has now turned into the fitness stuff. But I was like, man, this call is going to come. I better try to make every contact I can, network. And I still really wasn't successful up until maybe a couple of years ago that the program started to catch. Like, this has been for me, like, currently a 20-year thing trying to do, since, because I knew that they were never going to do anything with me after Right Censor, and I needed to keep going. So I don't know if anybody, long story short, I don't know if anybody on that list was prepared in that way. Maybe my whole thing was what Vince calls mental masturbation, pal. Yeah. Maybe my thing was all just paranoia and the mental masturbation, but I'd rather be prepared and paranoid and save my money than be unprepared. And that, you got to be ignorant to the fact that the call's coming.
Yeah.
If you're in those spots.
Is that in being in the bubble, dude? Because, I'm not trying to stooge off my personal conversations with the people I love the most, but then there's things in public that echo it, with Rockstar Spud, cutting this passion promo right after he gets off the phone with Mark Carrano, and he's crying and welling up in tears of like, on Monday Locker Room, we read a story where he's excited to come back to the ring and not do character because he's in the 205 Live thing, and then this comes. Like, are they so blind to it in this time, like, that they were so comfortable, and then you see them breaking down? Because, Spud's kind of shined me in the last 2 years. I don't mean that in a good way. Like, he's cut radio silence. Not that we were ever super close, but at OVW, whenever we run in together, it was dope. And then and we were fine, and at Impact too. But then once they get there in that superstar realm, it seems like the blinders go up, and this crushes them so much. They don't even see their value of, like, tomorrow he should be on air using his contacts, like, building what we've built over the last 2 or 3 years. The model's there, like, but they're so, and it's easy for me to say this looking from the outside, and when you lose your dream of after you've worked so hard to get there and it's taken from you, but they're taking it so personally, and they don't see that their boss just lost $350 million in a football league, did an $18.5 million super PAC in Florida to keep his business open for his crony politics buddies. And now he's also been named the dude to jumpstart everything for the economy.
After he lost 2 businesses in 2 days, technically.
2 businesses in 2 days, right? And his stock price plummets 66%, pretty much. So, like, but here's my friends and people we care about, and they're acting like it's something they did. Like, they're the one, like, what the fuck? Like, the mind fuck is so in that they can't even see that they're just collateral damage in a nuclear bomb. Like, it's not like you're gonna be like, oh, if only I would have fucking protected myself from this incoming nuclear bomb, dude. It's not how it goes. It goes bolt of bright, flash of light, and everything you loved is gone. Like,
yeah, but the threat of the nuclear bomb should scare you enough. When Vince is investing $300 million in a football league using the WWE funds, essentially, he doesn't give a fuck about you. So you protect your own business. The second that league, if you weren't before taking care of your own business and trying to do your own side hustles, even kayfabing it, like I did under my real name while I was there, they didn't care about me. I could have done it under my real name, but I was trying to do my own thing without that.
Or Agent what?
What's that?
Agent S, was it?
Oh, Agent S. That was another one, yeah. The Hillary Clinton body double. It was about 5 million views. I'm still getting paid for it.
Nice.
Though the whole thing, no, the Agent S thing was after I left.
Yeah.
But what I was looking at too, like, this is what you have to realize. It's like Russo said before about the shows, and we've talked about. They're playing to the people that are already going to tell them how great they are. Talking about WWE, even AEW, they're playing to the people they can do no wrong by. Meaning they think they're over, but they're not over. I discovered really quickly, like I thought, my God, I was in TNA, and I was personal training people in person. And I was like, this is going to be great because I walk the walk, I talk the talk, or whatever the saying is. You know, I basically show that I work out, I stay in the best shape I can, I'm clean, and I'm on TV. So that exposure has to mean something. Being in TNA, living in Florida, personal training people, like the name Stevie Richards should carry some weight. Not a damn, I didn't have any success for years trying to nobody cared. So I had a real rough life lesson where, okay, when I think I'm over, I'm not over. So I have to act like I'm not over at all and try to convert business. I may not be putting the terms correctly, but I have to be the most critical of myself that I can be, because no one's going to criticize me more than me. And so that's what they have to do. And dude, I think Spud's a great guy. He's a very nice guy. What he did on Twitter was very heartfelt, but I think really it was misplaced. Why are you doing that? You're too good for that.
Yeah,
You're too good for that, to put them over like that. Fuck them. Because they're saying fuck you, because what they did, Spud, and what they did for each and every one of you was every corporate scumbag, let's prop this stock up, because nothing props a stock up quicker than letting your fucking ass go as quickly as possible. And they didn't cut the biggest pieces of meat, meaning the $1 million contracts. So it's all for show. That's all that was. It didn't save them really any. How much was Rock Spartans? I had 75, 100 downside. You cut a bunch of these Serenas, these coaches, when they offer me the job, 50 grand gross, you pay your own expenses. You're an independent contractor. So essentially I'm making more being a fucking ridiculous podcaster and rubber band guy. I'm really honestly looked at my taxes. I made more this year than I would have coaching and working 12 to 16 hours a day, doing everything I want to do rather than doing everything I don't want to do. And what I'm telling Spud is, you just fucking use what you know and become whatever you can after that. Use that for what you can. And it's just, and that can be a hindrance too, because Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins look great and have great personalities and everything, but they're labeled like I was as jobbers. So what you need to do is completely go 180 away from wrestling. And then when it's a novelty, to use that to make yourself look better. Like, wow, that guy's actually, he knows what he's talking about. I thought since he lost every match that he didn't even know how to work out, but he's really smart guy. Let them lower the bar and think you're a retard, and then show them differently and convert sales. Sorry, I keep going on these tangents, but I lived the whole thing multiple times. I lived the whole thing in WWE, and I lived it in TNA.
He lived it in TNA, and that's why I can't believe he's still having these reactions.
That kid, I remember talking to Spud in Nashville for one of the Freedom Pro shows. They ran the shows at the old Asylum, and he told me they were fucking with him for his green card stuff. You were probably talking to him then.
Yeah.
Like I'm not working because I don't have and I keep calling the office and I keep going there. And like, you should know better that these people don't give a fuck about you. They don't, man. And I'm not being bitter or anything like that. When you realize that, it's the most freeing thing, because you're like, now it's up to me. I don't wait for the call. I don't wait for this. I don't wait for that. And I call them what they're, okay, cool. Hey, you don't owe me anything, but guess what? I don't owe you shit either.
The thing is, when they're inside that bubble, the $350 million investment, the stock cash in, the whatever it is, they think they're on the side of the good and it will never work against them. They think that's their momentum. And then when the bomb does go off, it really goes off in-house. They're the ones who are affected, and you see them just breaking down and they're not ready for it. And that's also what being not that Spud is one, but plenty of them are, a factory-made talent, because they don't know what's ahead of them for the indies to be ready to go out there and have to hustle and grind. Last time Spud worked indies was really probably in the UK because he won Gut Check. He went to OVW, worked the shows there for a year and a half, trained with Rip, got back on TV with EC3, was on TV ever since, might have worked some spot shows while he was doing that. And then right off of that, WWE. So to be back on the grind, it's been a while for him, but he doesn't have a hustle. And I look at him and see how, dude, the guy's good looking, the size, he can get over any character. The guy's the next Ryan Seacrest, but they're so in the bubble, they can't see their potential and all of the fucking, contacts they've made while they've been on top. How can this is for later. I know this dude, and now I'm transitioning. Now's my opportunity to go do this thing. Because when they're in there, all they do is bitch about wrestling, the politics, and the people around them who are making them miserable. Now when the handcuffs are off, the creative handcuffs are off, and who you can talk to and what you can do, and oh, how the fuck am I ever going to survive without WWE? It's such a masochistic relationship, brother. Just to go back and ask, please, sir, I want some more punishment. I don't get it.
Well, they used it. I think they used the double think thing that you said last night on the Horseman. Two opposing things. They treat you like you're completely. They treat you like a machine. Like that you can just throw out an upgrade like a computer or something. But then they use the term and drive the Stockholm Syndrome term family into you every time. Mm-hmm. So you got these two diametrically opposed things of the truth is in people's actions. I've always said that. Like if somebody's putting their arm around you and say they love you and the football saying, let them show you how much they love you in the paycheck. Like they showed me what they thought of me with my pay, which was not much. But it was enough for me to save because they think everybody is going out and buying like fucking Hummers like Davari did, like his first 6 hours in the company. Like, no, I bought stuff that appreciated, not depreciated. I didn't buy stuff. Dude, even to this day, and I'm not putting it, I'm just saying my paranoia and my way of Bob Holly's another guy. Other people I know in the business too do a lot of that stuff. How long have I talked to you about buying a new computer, which I use every day to edit hours of video and I convert into workout programs and we make money with it? How long have we been talking about me getting a new computer?
Probably since September. If not
and
longer.
Have I pulled the trigger? No. Because I just hate spending money. It's it's a 100% write-off.
Yep.
And it's money.
And
I don't want to spend it.
You wear out the old before you break in the new. It's like we're making it on bubblegum and Band-Aids, but anything you buy is going to turn around and pay for itself too because of how much you use it as a tool, not just as a status symbol.
Depression. I have very much a depression era mentality because sure. I lived through it so many times with the neck surgeries and going completely broke and then sitting at home for 4 months and not going broke, but not making money. So I know what it was like to sit there. I tell the story all the time and I'll probably get a little bit emotional because I remember after my neck surgery, and I think I've told this story before. I have on this thing, going to the supermarket and using a cane because I had the graft from my hip into my neck from the neck surgery. And literally like going there and having to put food back because I didn't have enough money. And then slipping on the ice on the way back home and laying on the ground and nobody helping me. Like these are the terrible lows that make me think every time I pull out my credit card or some cash and go, and now I have people I need that rely on me to be the leader of the household, not financially, but to lead them into a place that, is good for everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's the priority. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to the chat room just really quickly while I'm thinking about it. Because Riff, where's he at?
Riff 605.
Yeah, he had a couple of great things here, and I'm missing it right now. He basically said that when they cut the salaries, it equated to about $4 million, mm-hmm. and they delayed moving to the new headquarters, which saved them $140 million, which means they didn't need to get even the production people, the agents. They could have been the real carrying company, just like they could be leading entertainment and sports right now with a brand new retooled product. Mm-hmm. On this side, they could be like, we're not going to release anybody because these are our people. We'll stick by them during these tough times. We'll take the hit because we're still multimillionaires. We're still worth $500 million or whatever. They could have done that. And how much goodwill and PR on the other end of it would they have for years? How many wrestlers would want to work for them and stay?
Plenty. And this is just the names. I'm wondering, since you're doing empty arena wrestling and you don't have a road show right now, all the truck drivers, all the catering people, well, if she's on the show, they're going to need catering. But everybody else, lighting, like if it's all pre-programmed, it's probably just one or two dudes hitting a switch as opposed to the team of 16, the rigging crew, the outside crew, all those guys are furloughed. And if now also probably got fired, maybe not from Mark Carrano giving you the call or text message, but why would they keep them on there when they can bring them back when they need them again? And that also probably shows the insight of Vince has talking to Trump that he knows they're not going to be back in arenas till maybe after August. After that, why would Vince?
Well, you might want to put it back further than that because the LA mayor, it's on your group.
Yeah,
he wants to suspend sporting events for over a year, which now next year's WrestleMania.
And that was supposed to be LA. Yeah.
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 No.
Wait, no. Yeah.
I just feel like all these people are going to sit there and do absolutely nothing except wait for Impact and AEW to call. And I'm telling you right now, everybody, supply and demand. Guess what's going to happen to each and every person that the Impact will use you, AEW will use you, but you're not getting one of those Joey Janela $135,000 a year contracts.
Well. Yeah, there's a couple. I'll get to a Cody news bit in a little bit, but
I'm saying that semi-sarcastically.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing: the bloodbath is now, and it's still going on. I think this is the biggest mass post-WrestleMania firing ever, because of a lot.
Oh, and that's the thing too. The timing is coronavirus. They could have let all these people go after WrestleMania, and now at least they have an excuse.
Yeah, sure, and it probably is a real one this time, as opposed to most of the others. But I think, as bad as this is, the waves of it are going to be so destructive. Eventually, when the dust settles, if Daddy Khan doesn't pull the money and if ROH can remain standing, obviously the talent hoarding days of WWE are over with. So those companies will flourish with talent. But the trickle down of that is, dude, if anybody needs to learn anything from Rockstar Spud crying on camera and shit today, who's in AEW, Impact, or Ring of Honor, it's that know that your spot is probably done if you are in the low to mid card. The Librarians, the Jack Evans, even Jungle Boy and guys like that, you are probably not long for this world on TV with the amount of people that they just released, because there's no way in hell that anyone can justify that, Jack Evans and these lower card guys who are getting a shot right now to fill TV and I'm not trying just to shit on those dudes because they can out wrestle me, that the draw of Zack Ryder getting to get his time versus Sean Spears, which is what Cody and all them really want. They all came up together. Major Brothers, Ryder and Hawkins. Every day they hung out. They're all still boys, bro. That if you think your spot is safe, you are fucking absolutely dreaming, because right now there's nobody's phone is busier aside from Mark Carrano's than Cody, Khan, and Marty Scurlls, and probably NWA too, with Marquez is probably getting blown up and Lagana. So, dude, like if you're in that low and mid card and you got a shot as and you were an indie darling in Impact, you think they're gonna keep AC Baby, who they supposedly just signed, and Austin Theory or Austin, whatever, Ace Austin, when they can get back Rockstar Spud and EC3? They're going to clip 4 or 5 guys to get these WWE talent back, and guys who now think they're over. Even a Joey Ryan, I could see them getting rid of Joey Ryan and guys like that to bring in real contenders to face Moose, Eric Rowan, or somebody like that they think they can build the company on. So if you are low to mid card, you should be listening to exactly what Stevie just laid out there and not thinking you're safe. and not going, oh, I feel bad for my brothers. You know, this is the Shark Tank, and those good brothers, the good brothers who just got released, they want a revival in their career, and they will gladly come in and shit stomp your fucking career so they can feed their hot Asian wife and 3 sons, dude. And all of the tweets of, I feel so bad for my brothers, we're here for each other. That ain't gonna fucking do shit when you're filing for unemployment next year because they came in and took their spot off their WWE shine and you didn't see it coming because everybody thought they were equals. It's fucking gonna be dog eat dog in the trickle down, and there's gonna be a lot of heat that rolls out because of it.
There's another way to look at it too. This is with Khan. I always think of Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do the same thing. Shatner. Khan. With Khan, yeah, there's a real chance that his dad could be like, you know what, I'm not even, there's no soccer, there's no nothing, there's no football. I'm going to save the money. It's done. What is
We're not essential. We're not
Cody and all these guys and everybody, you know, and these guys, they hope they save their money because Cody was out shopping for houses like 3 days after he got his deal. You know, I'm not saying he shouldn't.
Brand new G-Wagon.
I have a different look. I have a different attitude. I don't live the lifestyle. I have very much I told you, I think last week, my wife, she makes fun of me, but she thinks it's great. I like my $6 shorts from 32 Cool. I like my $6 shirts from 32 Cool. They don't sponsor me, 32 Degree, but it's a soft shirt. It's under $10. I can buy about $100 worth of stuff will last me years. Just these little things have, you know, like really the one guy everybody should listen to, Lanny Poffo on Breaking Kayfabe. Or even that Rich Dad Poor Dad guy who he follows. I follow that guy, Dave Ramsey. The Rich Dad Poor Dad would be great on the Conspiracy Horseman because he tells the truth about the way government and other things and all that stuff set up to psychologically make you always think poor too.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of stuff. Robert Kiyosaki, I think, is Kiyosaki. Khan should be looking, and this is where politics has to go out the window. So if Cody, as much as I like Zack Ryder, if Cody's telling Khan to hire Zack Ryder and give him $100,000 a year, it's like, as opposed to a Ryback or even an Eric Rowan or who else, EC3 even, you know what I mean? These guys, they're looking at their track record. And I'm not saying Zack can't carry the torch, but I had the same stink on me. So if at least I had the Dr. Stevie character to erase the 9.5 years of how they damaged Stevie Richards. Will Zack be able to go and say, this is the character I want to play. I don't want to be Zack Ryder anymore. Let me be whatever. Because that's the only way you can save the Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins spot. That's the only reason you can pitch a spot for guys like that. Does that make sense? Or Khan has to tell Cody and the Bucks, we can't just hire your boys to hire your boys because my dad is breathing down my neck and we're running out of $100 million right now. And he's not going to give me another 100 to run this thing.
Or they're all marks and they're sitting around going, dude, what do we look at these all guys, these new toys you can play with. And they got somebody at TNT who's a Mark II and is like, yeah, dude, we'll get all these guys. And then they will cut their throats of their friends from the indies that help fill out their roster for their better friend. Those are the B friends, Shug. We got to get the A friends in here. Right? And then we go back to the old school.
And my jump rope video.
That's it. Triple arm.
Listen, but here, okay, we're really getting a deep dive into this. I'm sure nobody's even thinking of this shit. All right, let's sign Zack Ryder. Let's sign this guy. What if there's an interstate travel ban? Where are you going to run your TVs? Are you going to run? You almost got shut down by Georgia, the Georgia, authorities last time trying to run it out of QT Marshall School. What are you going to do? You're going to run guerrilla underground stuff with TNT in tow, doing your production and your camera? Like, dude, that's going to become a crime. I'm not saying it's right, but what are you going to do? Just keep, like, hey, well, we got last, like the whole Paulie thing. You're Paul Heyman and you're Paul Heyman. You're playing the line of guys and stand every six people apart, social distance so they don't see that the plane tickets are all the same. What kind of kabuki-ish shit are you going to fucking come up with to run these shows? Like if now you're going to have all these guys fly in and you're going to tape a bunch of stuff and then you're going to hope that it's all over.
You just got to go to your own state and start your own super PAC and donate $18.5 million out of that $100 million. And then you can be back up and running again with, cold or empty arena matches.
Why not? Dude, you don't think Khan's trying to figure out a way to work the local government after seeing what he saw Vince do?
Especially Khan Sr., who's a guy who will hire scabs in a minute and fuck over like long-term players and office people who wanted job security and what they've worked for. And he's like, ha ha ha. Yeah. So these are your headlines from ProWrestling.com. Alexa Bliss comments on Ronda Rousey's fake fighting statement. She say, I'll start by saying I like Ronda. We've always gotten along. I have a lot of respect for her and what she does and what she's been through. She does MMA and UFC, and I've always been super supportive and everything like that. It was just like the use of the word fake, especially because when it comes to we welcome Ronda with open arms. We all wanted to see her succeed, and whenever we have a match, we would respect her UFC background, respect how she did certain things. We wanted to make an amazing story with amazing matches while meshing both styles of WWE and UFC together. I thought every girl that worked with her did an amazing job of that. But with that, my whole documentary based on my concussions and I didn't know if I was ever going to be medically cleared. The thing is, you're only as good as the person you're in the ring with. When you kind of bash the fans who are really supportive and say what we do is fake, it's kind of disrespectful when we were so respectful of what she did coming in. We were respectful of her in WWE. Everyone knows was willing to help her succeed, She did a lot for us, and we did a lot for her. A lot of the bodies laid on the path she walked on. So to say what we do is fake is really unfair. Yeah, the finish is scripted. We say that. It's protagonist, antagonist, and conflict resolution. Wow, good for you, Alexa Bliss. It's a story we're telling. My whole thing is if she comes back to WWE, great. We would all love to work her again, I'm sure. Just limit the use of the F word. Yeah. Yeah, good little Alexa Bliss statement there. I like that. A lot better than her best friend's statement.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? No, Terry Taylor, who cares? Nobody's watching.
Yeah, exactly. Legit. There's maybe one or two guys watching from the control room because USA and Fox contracts reportedly require WWE to produce set number of live shows. It's reported by Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer stating that both USA and Fox require a certain amount of live shows from WWE. The report states that the television contracts allow for only a few taped events each year. When it comes to Raw, for example, there are reportedly only 3 taped episodes allowed per year. This could be a strong indication as to why WWE is making the decision to run live programming starting with tonight's Raw despite the current health situation going forward with coronavirus. So, hey, USA needs live shows. Throw $18.5 million at Trump so we can run in Florida. Problem solved. Does that seem like A meets B from the fucking marvelous mind of Meltzer?
It's a good investment. It's not an ethical investment, but it's a good investment. If you got a couple $1 billion deals over 5 years and the $18.5 million to be an essential business, it works very well.
Mm-hmm.
And have the governor come down. Trump's been talking to the governors. Trump had Vince and Dana White on the phone. It all lines at the super PAC, $18.5 million. And then the authorities trying to shut them down on the live Raw last week, right? And the governor making the call and staying the execution. Hey, dude, it's like, all right, the wire went through. Keep them up.
Not even
literally what happened.
Not even the stay of execution. It was it went from stay of execution, and in the same call, he also got promoted to warden.
Yeah.
Not only are we not killing you on death row, you're running the show. Oh, okay. A guy who was running the show and got killed himself, Eric Bischoff, believes Goldberg should now retire from wrestling. Eazy-E gave his thoughts recently. He said, I think Goldberg's recent run in WWE will help his legacy, but I think that Bill at the end of the day is going to be known for his entrance, his spear, and his jackhammer. Well, what the fuck else is there?
Wasn't that 97 too?
Nobody's going to look at Bill Goldberg and put him in the same category as Steamboat or Flair. It's not going to happen. It's not ever his goal. It's not his style. It was never his intention. Goldberg was an attraction. Eric continued, I don't think it's going to hurt him at all, his last run. Let's face it, his most recent run is coming at the very tail end of his career, for crying out loud. He's 35 years old. You know, the fact that he's in WWE. I got to take a call that's coming in, Stevie. Talk about Goldberg.
Well, in my opinion, yeah. I mean, Goldberg is not Flair and Steamboat, but I dare to say that Goldberg drew better ratings than Flair and Steamboat. Goldberg drew more money than Flair and Steamboat, and Goldberg also produced money for WCW. So did you hear what I said? That he drew more ratings than Flair and Steamboat, drew more money, and dare I say it, in a lot of ways, I mean, he's a superhero, man. He was WCW's version of Austin, but also in a way a mixture between Austin, Ultimate Warrior, and Hogan. He was a larger than life character,
and Psycho Sid, kind of.
Yeah, dude, he drew. They had barely 1 week to promote the Georgia Dome when he beat Hogan, and they had over 40,000 people. Imagine if they promoted that for a couple months and had a pay-per-view. I bet it would have shattered the one with Sting and Hogan from Starrcade in '97. That was the highest rated pay-per-view buy for WCW. And before that, it was Hogan and Flair, Bash at the Beach 1994, which, by the way, I loved watching that match. I watched it back a little while ago. For him to say that, like, dude, entrance, jackhammer, spear, bands get paid millions for their greatest hits.
That's it, dude.
Goldberg should wrestle as long as Goldberg wants to wrestle, just like anybody else. If it's going to turn out well, that's great. If it's going to turn out like a match with Taker, well, going forward, dude, I can't go longer than 3 or 4 minutes, and we just have to go greatest hits and get out of there. And he gets $1 million a match. If someone's going to pay him $1 million, he should wrestle as long as he wants to.
Yeah. I was listening to Corny the other day, and he was talking about when they had Iron Sheik under that contract there, and he was just coming and doing jobs. He wrestled. They said he figured he got paid $33,000 per match. Then he didn't give a fuck about doing jobs, whatever. 89,
$100,000 a year, and it rolled over automatically because he didn't call. Dude, you can learn from the Sheik. Don't come and keep bothering. If you're getting great money, don't keep bothering them and reminding. That's what I did.
How about,
I wanted to do things, but I stayed enough under the radar to where they didn't say, "Wait a minute, we're paying this guy."
You think Finn Balor's that guy right now?
After yesterday, maybe.
I was going to say, I'm surprised I didn't see his name yesterday. Disco Swayze wants to know.
Let's stop there for a second. Okay. You serious? Why? Because of how far he's fallen
so far he's fallen, dude. What, you got to build that guy back up. He's injury prone. He was bumped out before he got there from being Prince Devitt and doing all he did. The value's not there. They didn't pull the trigger on the gay thing. They never did the demon thing to the full fucking thing. There's nothing left from the Fonzie stuff. Went to NXT. They thought he was going to help redraw at NXT. Injured again. No real, to bring him back for Raw in an empty arena. And if things are canceled to 2021, lay him off and fucking hire him back, bro.
Well, or he goes back to Japan, and they're dealing with the coronavirus. New Japan's dealing with it a lot better than WWE. They have testing. They have all sorts of stuff. He can just go live in Japan, make a ton of money, and do what he needs to do over there. There's an opportunity for that. That's the one guy out of a few. Maybe Anderson and Gallows. There's guys from New Japan that could probably go back and at least make they're in better spots than a lot of the other guys.
But Gallows now he's got all the kids and all that kind of shit, man. Different family life because of how he lived his life in WWE. And I'm not saying don't have kids and whatever, but now you got to leave your boys at their prime age of growing up. Not that they're not doing that being on the road, but Japan's pretty far. Disco Swayze says, "Is it true, Stevie, that you laid out Ivory with a spine buster and she no-sold it?" He says Val Venus dropped that on the Hannibal shoot.
She did she no-sold something. I don't know if it was from me, but she no-sold something and got right back up. And we talked. Yeah, Ivory was endless entertainment. I remember when we were in India, and it was me and Hurricane in the first match in India, like first match ever in India as far as WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And she cut a promo and said, basically like exposing the caste system, like say it's great to see the best of the best from India here in the crowd.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
I mean, Shane's shoulders dropped in, so you have to ask Shane about that. I do, dude. She sold a lot of stuff. But she was great to work with, and she was a natural heel.
And someone who'd been around for a long time, not just your average clueless diva that you got to fucking lead through.
But insane at the same time.
You know, that's why she's been around for a long time.
But I mean that in a loving way.
Backstage 414 features Edge, draws 161,000 viewers. WWE Backstage not doing well, did a .05 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. But this story says this is good news for WWE, as both shows' numbers were up from last week. The show drew 140,000 last week and had a .04. Of course, the episode didn't feature Edge. It also saw the return of Punk, which no doubt had a positive impact on ratings. No doubt. I mean, starting up at 470,000 and being down to 161, boy, we were really kicking ass. I mean, we're up from 49,000 when Satin debuted, but forget about that real debut of 500,000. Fuck that. 160, everybody. Okay. RZA and DJ Premier had 191,000 live on Instagram. So you have a TV show, and it sucks that fucking bad. You can't, during a captive audience time, that's the best you can get. Brutal.
Yeah, Joe Rogan draws more on his podcast, which is during the day and not in primetime hours. Yeah. Man, I'm sure the people that are part of Backstage, especially Punk, are so thankful that they're there and under a Fox contract and not, not with WWE. So for everybody that was like, Punk should go back to WWE. Well, maybe now, dude, he might be able to pull something out of all this and make a double dip or do whatever.
I think he will. Here's that one story. Cody Rhodes comments on Zack Ryder's WWE release. He says, quote, his best days are ahead of him. Fans were surprised to see Ryder let go after 14 years of service. Cody made it clear in an emotional post that he believes Ryder's best years are ahead of him. Cody posted how Zack Ryder has consistently tried to improve both in-ring and physique. He stated that someone can get over with the fans, can do it again. Clearly, he believes that's what Ryder will do. He then commented about Ryder winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania and stating how happy he was for him to win that match. It's all on his Instagram. But if there's one, I thought, for me, I would, if I was them, I wouldn't hire any of those guys for the next 3 months, it'll look too strong. But then here he is right on the heels of that, pretty much saying, guess who's coming? Because where else is Ryder going to go to get over with the fans except for AEW? And Cody's giving him the blessing right there. And, they've been friends since OVW and they were 20 years old, both of them. So he'd be the one, and I'm sure if he goes, Hawkins will go. But already within the first 12 hours, people selling for it, man.
The only way that I think Zack Ryder could really be reinvented, and this could be a vehicle for a lot of guys, is to be part of the Broken Universe with Matt Hardy.
Yep.
Matt can create these characters and be a producer and help these guys. And that's, I don't know about the relay. I'm assuming Zach and Matt get along because both guys get along with normally everybody.
Sure.
That would be the way to do it in a way that's fun and somewhat makes sense, rather than just bringing him out as I'm heel Zack Ryder or I'm this or if it's going to use his real name. I think Matt creating some kind of character for him, for both of them, maybe a mask or something to make that, because then it's like, obviously that's Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, but now they can get it. Maybe all the release guys go to North Carolina and he throws them in the lake of reincarnation and they come out as awesome. New characters.
He's just out there and they do an old school baptism, like they're all lined up.
And the guys come out with characters.
And they come out with new. That'd be fucking phenomenal, dude. All right, here
that should be the way AEW repackages everybody.
Why not, dude?
Actually.
Why not? Why, dude? We should. I'll DM that to Matt. All right. here we go.
You can take all the credit for it. And since I tried to end around you on Utah.
Oh no, I would never. That would get me right out of the Utah deal. The Utah's
where it's at, man.
Utah Stooge Corps would be like, dude, did you hear he took Stevie's idea for the Lake Reincarnation? Stooge it to Matt, said it was his.
Force USA would be more hot than anybody out there.
I could do it as well.
Joseph Smith coming for you.
Tablet lifts, deadlifts. All right, here we go. I'm going to try and run through them. NXT stars Deonna Purrazzo, Dan Matha, Alexander Jaksic with K's are partly part of the cutbacks. Let's see here. Lance Storm. Oh shit, where was it? Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Fit Finley, Pat Buck, Sean Devari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, Shane Hurricane Helms, Lance Storm.
Hurricane's a good way to get repackaged too.
Hurricane. Stand back. There's a Hurricane coming through. Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, EC3, Leo Rush, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Kurt Angle, Aiden English, Eric Rowan, Epico, Primo, Sarah Logan after breaking her arm on Monday on camera, Mike Chioda, just because his name sounds like Corona, Mike Canales, Maria Canales, Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, Rusev, Deonna Purrazzo, MJ Jenkins, Dan Matha, Alex Jaksic. What's not funny about this, but here's the list from ProWrestling.com. It's like 145, Luke Gallows and Heath Slater have been released. 210, Eric Young has been released. 225, Kurt Angle and Aiden. Like it goes right down. Like Carrano's got a list. Hey, bro, I got to talk to you. Give me a call back. Goes the text, gets over with it. You know what I mean? Eric Young.
Well, I heard they were going to release people via text. Remember we joked about that via message?
Yeah, it was in there. It was in Vince's thing that they'll be receiving messages and whatnot. I haven't talked to Serena about where it is, but obviously I'll add that. Some sheets have it. Serena Deeb, and we talked about Ace Steel as well from the Performance Center. Nobody ready for Rybuck.
Yeah. You liked that one, didn't you?
Big time. Nobody ready for Rybuck.
Here's the, you want to just a little, because we're the boys and I think everybody would pop for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
How fucked up is it that Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS, gets released on April 15th?
Yeah. Good big pop, right?
You know, it's got to be somebody looked at that like Hunter or Vince and they're like, wow, that's kind of.
Yeah, got to do it, pal. Just for the rib. Fuck it. Fuck them. But Bo Rotunda not released. So is Bo going to get folded in the Firefly Funhouse as a new character? Because they released Curtis Axel. That wasn't a name that I didn't read on there.
Like kind of the father being released kind of shocks me then too, since Bray has so much like. I don't know. Nothing shocks me really in a way. Like the best thing that for Bray would be to get released so he can go to Hollywood when they finally start making movies and stuff.
Also being asked, Lars Sullivan not released, the guy who does the gay porn, who's closet homophobic and racial slurs, and his job's fine, I guess, still. How about Triple H? He's still around? Anybody?
Yeah. Well, Triple H going to call Triple H? What, you know?
Yeah, he's going to pose for him. He's like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. You're still over with me. All right.
Oh, instead of the finger pointing at him, the finger points away, like, get out of here.
Oh, shit. And I'm sure there'll be more today, and I'm sure there's production people and, like I said, Grips and other people you don't even know about who are faceless, nameless to the fans, but absolutely are going to be affected.
Somebody in the chat room joked about Triple H getting a raise. Guess what? In corporate America, when you release people and you do this stuff and you show the stock, like you get bonuses, you get more stock, you get rewarded at the top. This is very much stuff does not trickle down except for the cutbacks. Mm-hmm. The cutbacks start at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing and.
Oh, yeah, Ember Moon, that's another one somebody sent there. I don't have the full list right in front of me, but.
What do you think talent's going to be like moving forward? Do you think talent's going to say, do you think this is going to turn into a wake-up call that, man, I'm not going to get through this week. I'm not going to do this or that. I got to protect my business because I got to get over here because you guys could fucking let me go and then I'm completely worthless. I got to do something. So if I'll die on the hill now, or you'll end up doing it my way. And then, they even let go of one writer, but don't they still have 24 writers on the thing?
I mean,
they only let go of one writer.
Dude, you got to give Carrano a fucking day to rest. We fired all the yes men producers and all the fucking extra talent that they didn't need.
They used to call him Carrano, Cockroach Carrano.
Oh yeah,
he is truly the fucking after the nuclear. He could survive a nuclear war. I don't think Mark, you can go anywhere you want. The coronavirus is scared of you.
It should be the Carrano virus is what they should rename it.
That's what we're going to start. Call it the Carrano virus.
Carrano virus. That's it.
The Carrano virus actually started yesterday.
It claimed more fucking people.
That's the name of the episode, the Carrano virus. That's the name of the episode.
Oh, shit.
Write it down. Write it down. Well, Siri's taking it for me, so that's good.
Carrano virus.
2 hours. Don't get his name wrong. Gotta put him over by burying him. I've always had a decent relationship with Carrano, by the way, but it still amazes me that he has failed upwards so successfully.
I only met him one time, and he was fine. Let's see here. Tony Khan, you might have heard of him. He said makes an incredibly bold claim about this week's AEW main event on Dynamite. He says that this is the most anticipated match in AEW Dynamite history. Will also be the most brutal and memorable match we've put on TV, Khan tweeted. I believe this will be known as the best empty arena match ever. Well, Khan might be a tad biased given that he owns the company. He's also a lifelong and diehard professional wrestling fan. Given that the match had already been taped, his statement isn't just an empty prediction so much as an early review. Hopefully it's an honest one. I watched the show because I have to do Light the Fuse here this afternoon at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman with Silvio and MSG. It was a decent little match, but even JR's going, why is there barricades up? There's nobody in the arena. Making fun.
He called it out.
Yep.
Good.
And then and they're fighting all over the place in the arena. It's no holds barred. Gets him in a submission, rope break. Then another one, rope break. It's no holds barred. We're fighting all over the arena, but we're doing rope breaks when we get back in the ring on submissions. Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and let you disparage the psychology of Tony Khan. It was no ropes barred.
Oh,
no ropes barred.
I must have missed that.
Tony Khan, please don't send 15 people with bone saws to my house.
Mm-hmm.
But, Terry Funk versus Jerry Lawler. Look it up.
Yeah.
As my Eddie Bravo tribute. Look it up. The Rock versus Mankind is by far the best empty arena match, halftime heat. Look it up. Those two far exceed, because every match is an empty arena match for the past month. That's the problem. It's not special anymore.
If you want to talk better empty arena matches, look at everything Asuka's done. It was better than this match.
Yes.
And then, one thing else you can look at, go to Trailer Park Boys, Ricky. He says something, you're dumber as fuck. You might want to watch that a couple times too, because you don't do a fucking rope break in a no holds barred empty arena, fight falls fucking count wherever, dude, where there's no count out. And then we go in to get our shit in and it's rope break.
And by the way, it was taped, so you could have done it again.
Stupid.
Somebody could have stopped it.
Could have stopped it.
Also, everything ever done by the Hardys with the Broken Universe, those matches, like with the Rock and Roll Express, where they put them in the cherry picker or whatever, the lift, those are technically empty arena matches. Disco versus the Kid in an empty arena match. These are all better, right?
Yes.
And they're produced better. So you have an opportunity to do something taped. Yet what you did was you were rushing because you knew that they're going to shut us down. We got to get these right before someone finds out, or we had the paperwork earlier, but they might come back. So let's just get it in the can and let's go. It was pretty much, dude, even though they're doing better at WWE because they still have the people on the outside, right?
Yeah. Well, they didn't for this. For a couple matches they did. But it was even, you're like, oh, the crowd was a little light. They was actually went from 10 people at ringside to 6 people at ringside. So it's just so resoundingly bizarre. And then to call attention to it and be like, this one's going to be the fucking best. Well, now you've set an expectation that if you don't meet it, everybody looked stupid. I'm not saying they didn't work their ass off and there wasn't good stuff in there and it was a seriously real fight, but you just somebody's got to reel him in and smarten him up on shut the fuck up. Just do these lines and look like the figurehead. Stop trying to get it over and get it in, because every time you act like you're the fucking second coming of whatever you think you are, you put your foot in your mouth with the social justice warrior stuff, with the, we're not Triple H in them, and then come out and do the exact same moves. Then this kind of thing of Barry Horowitz in yourself before it even goes down. Like, let it go down and have your diehards put it over as the best and be like, there's a lot of great matches out there, Empty Arena, Lawler, and that. So you look like you actually did your research. And then you say, and I'm really thankful that our fans put the AEW product up on that legendary level. That's how you work as a babyface owner, not fucking... I know wrestling. I went to Battle of LA. I was front row. I know what the fuck's going on. Like, dude, the people you're paying when you do that stuff are looking at you. They get in the car door closes, and they go, holy shit. Oh my fucking God. Dude.
When do you think they pegged him? Like, when did Cody, like in the carnival, like when did they mark him when he walked by the carnival stand?
Battle of LA. All that shit out in what do you call it? PWG. All that shit.
How long ago was that?
2016.
So right before All In, and they had him basically. He was the secret finances. Yep. He was the consortium. The consortium, pal.
That's it, dude.
Oh man,
I remember seeing the picture with him there and sitting down. Like, I'm just like. A fucking whole
how's
roll.
He still with Fox, by the way. How's Fox not like that? How's that not?
Somebody went in on him. Somebody went in on him today and said some shit about that he's reporting. He's like, well, that's my job. I have to report it. So he's even like doing his shit through like, they just can't shut the fuck up. These man-child California daddies, like helicopter parented generation of just total pathetic losers who think they can hang with fucking men and do what a man does and put themselves over as fucking geniuses and masters of this or that when they haven't fucking chopped wood or carried water day one on any of it. But get in the ring after the fucking show and give Sean Spears a stunner. Hey, fuck off. Fuck off.
Chopping wood and carrying water sounds amazing right now because there'll be no people around.
Yep.
My self-reliance is my new hero. That's a guy. Dude, my self-reliance draws higher numbers than wrestling on YouTube because he's actually useful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Sorry.
And it's real. William Regal announces major change to NXT titles due to COVID-19. They will actually be renamed the COVID-19 tag team titles. No, I just fucking made that up. I don't even know. They're going to have to find, because Pete Dunne can't come from UK and Jordan Devlin, that Riddle is going to have to find a new replacement tag team partner for the unforeseeable future.
He may not have one by the end of the week. There may not be another person in NXT.
If it was me, I'd pair him with Goldberg. That's what I would do.
Dude, that's what you and I would definitely do. Yeah. That would be, who wouldn't watch that?
Goldberg's got 2 matches left on his contract. Fucking, they win it, and they defend it, and then who knows what the fuck, right? Why not do it, man?
It'll probably be Finn Balor. That's my guess.
Well, yeah.
Because he's the only one left on the NXT roster. Either him or Matt Plume or Scotty Tuati.
Austin Theory is now seemingly a Raw superstar after being stuck with the brand after WrestleMania 36. Despite Andrade returning, they've kept him around. The Theory defeated Akira Tozawa. Meltzer says that this isn't Vince, this is definitely Heyman, and he was brought up because they need somebody for WrestleMania. They were impressed enough. They liked the idea of a 3-person stable with Vega, Andrade, Garza, and Theory. I don't know why Theory. It seems if you're going Latino, you'd fucking go Latino. It's more wrestling, just based of what's on your show when there is no character or there are no pre-produced pieces. So how is Austin Theory, a straight wrestler, supposed to get over with no way to like kind of support that,
I was really shocked that that he didn't get cut. I'm shocked that Tozawa, like you said, the week's not over.
Yeah.
You might think, well, Austin Theory just started getting pushed. Well, they just put Sarah Logan back on TV. They just put this other person back on. They put a lot of people back on TV that they just got rid of. Rusev, they've released Rusev. You know what I mean? Like he wanted it, I'm sure. But at the same time, like there's no rhyme or reason for what they're going to do. Just because you see Austin Theory getting pushed and being used in 4 segments, that was just because they had a skeleton crew and they had to abide by the coronavirus stuff. That's why you're going to see like whoever opens the show or whatever kind of match it has, they're coming back out 2 or 3 more times. And you may get Seth Rollins, you may get other people mixed in, but they're going to put these kids to work, cheap labor, make them work. And they think they're getting over by working so many times. And they're getting so overexposed and stale because Austin Theory doesn't technically have a character, except Zelina Vega keeps saying he's perfect, which in common sense terms, if you're 2 other guys who she's putting over, and then you say this guy's perfect, what's the first question you would think as a fan? What do those 2 guys think?
What are they? Yeah.
Nothing. It's just trying to get him over. He looks like a mix between Fandango and Magnus.
Dude, how did Fandango and Breeze make it through this fucking round of cuts?
The week's not over yet, dude.
Yeah.
And Tyler Breeze has that connection to AEW, so you figure they would
and Spears got a school together. I mean, the Stooge stuff is all right there.
What about Chelsea Green?
Yeah, and I think they'll keep her. But how about for the fuck of it? But like, how about Lana and Rusev?
That's technically just like when they used to split them up on brands to see if their marriage will survive. This is what they're doing.
Yep.
And they'll make her work everything now. And she'll be quarantined in Florida. I don't even know where they live. Maybe California, I guess.
I don't know.
But wherever they live, it's not in Florida from my understanding. If it is, then that's fine. But you know what I mean? They'll have to do the Asuka thing where she's quarantined after she works. She'll never go home. They'll keep them away from each other.
Rusev.
And for people to think, well, that doesn't make it. Why would they do that? Because they fucking think it's fun. They'll still play their games. That's why they're in the trouble that they're in. Because they didn't do good business. Because they fucked with Matt Hardy. They fucked with Rusev and Lana and Lashley. Then they got it over. Then they fucked with them some more by not continuing it. They fucked with me. They fucked with Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins. People that could actually probably literally, hey, they fucked with The Rock. they fucked with Austin. I mean, you know, I have no doubt they're going to fuck with Edge. That they fucked with Orton. These people, I hate to keep cursing like, but that's the level of games that they play. If you think they're done because their business lost so much money, no, they're gonna continue to rib people on camera. Do you agree?
Time to play the game. Yeah, man. The creative is 7th, 8th on the list of what's important to them. It payback, vindictiveness, setups and tests to fail. Oh, you skirted our test. Well, now we have to double down to find out a creative way because you just didn't take it from us because you think you're smarter than us, but we'll show you. Oh, what's your character doing? Yeah, go out and let Becky stun Austin. Let's get back to how can we fuck him over? And like, dude, like, I want to see though. I want to be in on those car conversations. You know,
how are you going to be 6 feet away from somebody in a car traveling down the road?
That's true. It's true. Aaron Stevens discusses if he'd return to WWE. He says Stevens worked for WWE as Damian Sandow. While he had some major highs, his booking was incredibly inconsistent. He was admitted that the cause was self-doubt in himself and his ability. Bullshit. Self-doubt was something that, you know, crept into me. It was strange. You could hit my music, hallelujah, and there's no doubt at all. That's what I think allowed me to have the career I've had, but when I'm out there in the ring, I don't make a wrong decision. I don't. As a performer, you listen to the crowd and you start making adjustments. I'm fine with that. But it's something that a lot of people struggle with. That's why we have agents and things. No, when I'm out there, let me have my time. We're just going to be just fine. It was such a break and such a relief. But then when you go back, when you go back and you ask yourself, why aren't they doing anything with me? Or why are they doing this thing with me? Like my t-shirts, they were the highest selling t-shirts at live events. And I let that get to me and other little things. He said, eventually, the self-doubt creeps in where you think, I'm not good enough. I just, the type where I have a conversation with the boss. Okay, good. That's the way it is. I'm not going to bother him every week and become someone who's an annoyance. I talked to Creative and to Road Dogg, and I wasn't getting anything. I had to look at this from a realistic perspective. Again, me leaving. I was surrounded by people that were of the same mentality. I do believe that sometimes, a lot of the times, the people you surround yourself with rubs off. So I had to hit the reset button in life. It wasn't an easy thing for me. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Idol, Aaron Stevens or Damian Sandow, or whatever you want to call him, at his peak and you know, in developmental when he was on the road and they got called up to SmackDown, him and Casey James. And everybody was pumped for him. The first thing I ever did was a pull apart in wrestling where I got on camera was a pull apart between Idol and Paul Burchill. I think it was episode 247 of OVW. And, you know, it was pretty special for me to get to, no, it must have been later than that, like 347. To do that when those guys were going on the road and I was just coming from being an improviser, but then they got canned. And I remember Idol backstage, man, he could barely breathe. He was so wound up, dude. Like, he was just sitting there going, like taking catch breaths, having a panic attack afterwards for like those weeks afterwards. And unfortunately, KC went a different way. But then, you know, he gets reinvented again, takes Rip's tights, did a lot of great business for us in DCW and OVW, was one of the boys again. You know, the pressure was off from how they had him wound so tight. And then he gets back over with the Damian Sandow and Mizdow stuff. And then, boom, again, it all comes crashing down. But for him to be doubting himself based on the numbers, again, that's how they fuck with you, right? When this guy had money written all over him and the crowd was way behind him, but Triple H and fucking Vince are completely tone deaf to it because it's not coming out of their mind because their Idol's way smarter than them. 10 times smarter and can get shit over. And he's Rip trained. And he might, because of the OVW thing hanging over his head, they might have fucked him just because of that alone too, if he's not an FCW or NXT property. So all that shit is going in and rattling around in your mind before hallelujah even fucking hits.
Do good, but don't do too good.
Yeah. That's
their mantra. Do good, but you do too good and you get over more than we planned. No, we're going to have to do some stuff to fix that.
One thing I don't know if they can fix, Cody says TNT title is a joint effort from AEW and TNT. I saw a picture of it. I'm not even going to read the copy. Did you see that title? I didn't. It's just big copper goldish looking piece. It says TNT and all the fucking letters are just all together. There's no like round belt part around it or whatever. Somebody sent to me and said, please tell me this is a rib, but it just says the letters TNT in big letters on a belt. If that's the title that
it looks like it's sprinkled in like gold flakes.
Yeah.
And the plates don't have like anything on them.
Nothing.
I see it now.
Nothing. It's very like, what? After you see AEW's like title belt that's you know, that Jericho got stolen.
That's the old Mid-South UWF type title design.
It just doesn't fit in my opinion.
No, it looks
here's my point.
Looks bad.
Doesn't it seem like TNT with what they're paying and what they're putting up with and like the statements that we hear of TNT's just happy with where our numbers are. They're not caring about growth. They want like, okay. And then this title and then this, doesn't it seem like there's the same type of person at Fox who will take pictures with the fucking Fiend in control room at the peak? Like the same thing's going on over there at TNT. Like they got somebody else wrapped and wired the same way.
Yeah, they made well, this person should be mad if he saw the belt because it's like it's got two little things on the belt. It just looks like somebody poured it on the belt and it just kind of like, oh, let's get it, like keep it round. You know what I mean? It looks like it was literally poured onto the leather, and the leather's not even. The leather looks like it's not even cut like well. I just from the pictures I'm looking at, like the women's belt looks better.
Yeah. So, the TNT being in on it and wanting their own title, but then this is what it is. That's a very fickle audience. You got to step to the mic correct every time. Otherwise, they're going to point it out, right? Because they point out everybody else's misgivings. So if anything falls short on theirs, you're going to have a problem with it. And I think they have a short amount of time to get a better title before they got to do the payoff on there. Because if they wheel that baby out, and, a fair amount of smart marks have seen it already and pundits, but those who haven't are going to be like, what the fuck?
Can I ask you a question? And I'm looking at the picture. I don't know if this was an actual video of him doing whatever, but I'm trying to ask this in the right way, not even politically. Like Cody's much younger than us, or he might be closer to your age, but he's not much younger.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he dresses, he's sitting in a dark room at a table smoking a cigar with a suit on. I still don't understand how that appeals to his wrestling ability and what he can do in the ring and his psychology and the match with him and Dustin and what he's done with Spear. I like all that, but I'm saying this makes me think of Vince McMahon.
100%.
Like this makes me think heel power boss, like corporate, like everything that would be against what AEW should stand for. Am I wrong when I see this?
I'm like, who is the 35-year-old mob boss smoking a cigar, dude? Like
in a dark room.
Like,
he looks like he's planning a fucking hit on somebody.
Yeah, it doesn't fit as the leader baby face of what's going on, dude. And this is the third one of these we've seen of this style, and it just isn't. It's not there. And we talked about this, Man Beast and I did on the Monday Locker Room with Vickery of. When you've got so much going on, you're too close to it. You need to have somebody you can trust where you just say, please, take my performance, take my creative, and take it out of my hands. When I show up, you direct me and give me this, because him thinking about everybody's stuff, all the business, getting things done, leads to bad decisions that lead to lackluster creative like this. Not that it didn't look good and have a point, but it's not the vision, so we're missing already, and it just seems like a mailed-in thing to make yourself look like I don't always drink but when I do, I make sure it's this. Like
Vince McMahon's second best work when he finally before he had to come out and be the heel Mr. McMahon was when he was basically, nobody knew he owned the company.
Right.
He was an announcer.
This just feels
he let
like
everybody get over on him.
Mm-hmm. This just feels like a knockoff of the most interesting man in the world setup type thing. Like they're like that.
Is that his gimmick?
No.
Why is he the most interesting man in the world? Like if that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
And by the way, like we joked about it, but it's just you're a brand officer and you're talking about whatever. But here's a picture of me, just because. Like basically, what that mm-hmm. post you sent me was like, I'm getting ready to do this. And now here's a random picture for all you perverts out there. Was that what that post meant?
Pretty like of her you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the underwear or the bikini or whatever.
Dude, it's just like we're bored at home. I'm a branding officer. I'm the Nightmare Collective. I'm someone who cares about my company. But here, jerk off to me real quick. Like, do you see anybody do you see Steph doing that? Do you see, let's forget wrestling alone. Do you see anybody from Pizza Hut Corporation or any other CEOs who might have a hot broad, like posting like, hey, I'm really excited about our merger with Papa John's. Now here's me twerk. Here's my twerk video. Give me some likes. What the fuck is going on with the perception of what you are supposed to be in this biz? And one doesn't wash the other. And it absolutely should. It's a 360-degree picture. It isn't turn it on and be phony over here, but I'm still spank bank material over here. They just don't see how you can't have both.
Well, right now they are, but I think that's kicking the can down the road, and WWE's paying that price.
They're not getting both. They're doing something, and it's hurting them. One is
what I'm saying is they're not seeing the consequences for it just yet. But it's coming.
Yep. You're 100% right it is, buddy. 100% right it is.
Let me add one more thing before you go to the next thing. Somebody should be saying this to them. We're not saying it out of being like our job's to criticize or do whatever. Somebody within there, like I said earlier, I criticize myself more than anybody. You criticize yourself to a fault more than anybody. That's part of having our businesses. And if something falls through the cracks, you pop it on. Sal, my wife, will say, "Hey, man, did you ever think of this?" Oh, yeah.
100%.
That's
dude.
cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's, and even Susio was hitting me up yesterday for Twitch stuff. He's trying to get his business going. He's reinvigorated after joining us. I'm so proud of him. He's got Baltimore on to do the, guest seminars. He had Goose from WWE The Ref, and like just really now got the ball rolling, dude. But this type of stuff, when you use it for that also, and this is just real bro talk. I mean, I like the shit out of Cody, and I'd probably like her too if I hung out with her. But it looks thirsty, and you like your wife is out there fucking taking spank bank shots for the fucking fans, bro. Like, and you're not making any money off of it. If it was something that was like Brandy's AEW Jamaica Diva photo shoot DVD, get it now exclusive from AEW, right, or whatever. But this is just like, put it out there, but respect me as a CEO or EVP or whatever it is. I don't know, man. They just are kids making, it looks like kids playing adult, making bad choices. Mm-hmm. Like at any moment, her dad should walk in and whip her ass with the belt while she's doing that. That's what I'm all like, get your shit together. Carmella denies rumors about testing positive for coronavirus. CORONAV. Did you like that one? After it was confirmed someone within WWE has tested positive for coronavirus, rumors became hot about who it could be. Yeah, with Carmella being rumored. Even though there was no real evidence to suggest it, social media decided to take on a life of its own, claiming by former WWE SmackDown Women's Champion that tested positive for coronavirus. However, Carmella had taken to social media to confirm that it is not the case, stating she's been healthy throughout the pandemic. She says, "I appreciate your concern, but don't believe everything you read on the internet. Fortunately, I've been healthy through all of this." I do have an update. I heard through the Stooge report that Vince had seen those pictures without her makeup on, and he's like, "God damn, she's dying. Look at her." And that's how it all started, Bill.
Why even bother answering these people? why even bother tweeting it out? Like, this is where like the energy to be put into this, going back to Spud, the energy being put into the Twitter video, and then obviously reading the replies and getting back to people through Twitter. You could have been forming a business plan.
Yep.
Be like, dude, I got it. Even if I got 90 days pay, I got to use that money. How am I going to turn that 90 days pay into the next 2 years worth of income?
Yep. How am I going to I know I have this X amount. What do I need to invest in to get my hustle going this side and to grow it, instead of just sitting around waiting, going, well, in 90 days, I'll be back signing autographs and be able to work indies from right. Well, maybe you won't be, buddy. There's going to be a lot of indies that go out of business who don't have the startup money because their owners are local scumbags who've been laid off anyway, and they're not stacking chips enough to get their shit going again. Those who can are then going to only be able to hire a select few of the 25 that just got released to come in as their headliners. So nobody's going to have a surefire spot anywhere. They're delusional.
If anybody is waiting for the call, or in these uncertain times, if anybody doesn't learn the lesson, go back to the Lanny Poffo shoot. Mm-hmm. You made the mistake. Now learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. If you're sitting around waiting for WWE to bring you back, if you're sitting around waiting for Impact to hire you, if you're waiting for AEW, New Japan, if you're waiting, you can't be helped. And this is where I talk about us, because we've talked off camera. We have some skills. You've been helping Stevie Ray. You're helping Goldilocks with her Patreons.
Yep.
We both have you feel like taking, which I love the line. We have a unique set of skills.
Yeah,
we do. And you know what? People might have thought it was worthless 2 days ago. but they're sure is not fucking worthless now.
Oh yeah.
Managed to out of invention. Necessity is the mother of invention. I needed to make money. I needed to not count on the business. Same with you. Same with Sal and Papadon. They're working towards it, but they have other responsibilities. You and I dove 100% in to the podcast, 100% into our social media businesses, fitness businesses, my YouTube channel, all these different things. And it might take years. Better to start now and figure it out and find out. First thing you should do too, which nobody wants to hear, cut your nut down. Cut how much you're spending. $15 salads, going out to eat at Disney every night. These kinds of fucking things.
$5,000 Series 1 action figure.
The Fiend belt. That's fine, but this is just an opposing perspective. It's not because I'm 48 years old and these people are younger or anything like that. But you know what? I felt the rejection. I felt what it was like to starve. Maybe this is what they're going to feel like and it'll change them for the better. But I know what it's literally like to starve. And it's not about paying dues in wrestling. It's not about my year. I slept in my car, which I did. I was homeless for a little bit. I went through all this shit, which I never want anybody to go through. But maybe a little bit of pain is going to make you grow. Maybe a little bit of pain is going to have you have a sustainable income for the rest of your life to where you go, man, I'm kind of doing like 3 or 4 things what I want. I'm piecing together a living. That's more satisfying than $100,000 a year phony fucking guarantee from a wrestling promoter. That can be cut just like that.
Yeah. Why aren't they out there today? Like somebody says they can make bank from cameos. Like instead of crying the effing blues, I would say, hey, you want a cameo from me and I'll tell you a little something else. Boom. Sell a shit ton. They just don't have the hustler mentality because they've been so living off the teat for so long. And it's going to take a lot of them, a big wake-up call to re-empower themselves to be the boss of their future once again. And speaking of the boss of the future, our final story, Vince McMahon, Dana White, and more to advise Donald Trump on reopening the U.S. for business. Donald Trump announced on Tuesday that he assembled an advisory team that includes WWE Chairman Vince McMahon and UFC President Dana White, in addition to major sports owners including Roger Goodell, Mark Cuban, and more. No, the Commander-in-Chief is not casting an all-white billionaire spin-off the Avengers. Come on, Mike Killam. Fuck off with that. This isn't...
Who said that?
Mike Killam wrote it. Like, he also put over fucking Andrade's great new gear too. Like, it looked like it was made out of fruit roll-ups and old dead skin. This is in fact the collecting of pro-Trump business owners that will help President determine how and when to reopen the U.S. and begin to get the economy back on track. That's the goal anyway. Currently, the NBA, NHL, and MLB have all shut down their regular season play for 2020 seasons. Dana White has come under fire multiple times for attempting to plow ahead with plans for UFC fights amidst COVID-19. And then there's WWE, a company with long ties to the Trump family, foundation, and presidency. The relationship is currently under a microscope, and the Florida governor's office recently declared WWE an essential business, allowing them to continue to tape weekly TV shows for Fox and USA Networks live from their training facility in Orlando. We have been reportedly approached by local law enforcement on multiple occasions in March and April about not following state guidelines during COVID-19 pandemic. The governor's decision to add WWE to the essential list happened to fall on the same day that the pro-Trump super PAC, headed by Linda McMahon of all people, pledged $18.5 million and would be spent in Tampa and Orlando. I mean, if it's not all right there for you guys in the time of salesmen, cheats, and liars, there's nothing else we can say for you. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the real kicker, is a guy who's sunk multiple businesses in 2020, from his own wrestling to his football. Granted, Corona had part of it, but it wasn't. Nothing was taken off. It's been on a downward spiral for the last 20 years, and real heads know it. If you're here in the locker room, you know it. We're not telling you anything you don't know. but now the world's going to know the pain of this carny motherfucker trying to pull the wool over his eyes. Sure, he might have some good, excitement feelings out of the gate, but the payoff is never going to be there. If you think you're going to get the Bray Wyatt payoff you wanted 4 years ago for the economy to get restarted, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a fucking shitty taste in your mouth, and okay, we're moving forward. It's wrestling. It's America. We're just going along to get along, and that'll be the fucking attitude of it when it's all said and done, dude.
This may be the biggest rib of all time.
Yeah,
this may be the biggest troll by Trump to be like, the timing is just, he has to know he lost he lost one business, he put it in bankruptcy. And then this other thing with WWE happens like basically on the heels of it. They knew they were releasing these people, by the way. This was not, so here and there they might be like, oh yeah, cut him. But they put Sarah Logan on TV, I'm convinced, had her injured, and that's their wrestling way of getting her off TV and then releasing her. They knew. I thought we'd end the show on my motivational positive thing at the end of the last thing, but obviously that can't be the case. What I would say is, for the people, once again, that are released and going to get released, or anybody thinking about working for this company or anybody in wrestling, look at what's going on here and see where you are in the pecking order. Where are you on the priority list for Vince McMahon as one of his wrestlers, as one of his talents, agents, writers, coaches in the Performance Center? Maybe even Triple H, because he got demoted. So where do you stand? Where do you stand in Tony Khan and his dad that are going to try to be an essential business next? Where do you stand as a talent with all these people that have been released that, business-wise, yeah, you should have got yourself over so much by this point that they said you are essential to the product and we shouldn't release you outside of politics. So for everybody who was playing grab ass and playing comedy shit in AEW and just not getting their business over or protecting their business, if you get released from either company, it's your own goddamn fault. I learned that lesson. So I made the same mistakes. I always have to add that.
Yeah,
I speak from experience of not getting 100% return on my business. I did pretty good at times, but not consistently, because I wanted sometimes people to know what a nice guy I was when I was a heel, because I wanted people to know, hey, I'm not all that bad. And this was not in the social media era, so I would have made the same mistakes, but stop making the mistakes sooner than I did. And you'll make money, I promise you. And I go back to what we say. We are more than willing to help anybody. Some people more than others, like Serena and other people. We're more than willing to help anybody out there. We don't want to see anybody starve, anybody's family starve, and we don't want to see you go through the pain that I went through for so many years trying to find my niche in life, not just in business, but in life. And I'm finally doing it. We can expedite that for a lot of the talents.
Absolutely. And we know the psychological process has to take place, but the quicker you can get excited about your future and the possibilities that you can envision for yourself and becoming your own, boss, and you're determining your own destiny, where you don't have to worry. The worry shifts from, okay, once I get my model going, can I make it sustainable and keep growing it? That's the hardest part, to get off the ground, as opposed to what am I going to do? Who am I going to go work for right now? If you've got that, and once you get it established, then it's about growth, because the lights won't stay on without it. So it's super essential and it's totally on you. But then that sort of Damocles and worry about, they're all going to laugh at me, what do they think about me, goes away. Like, you don't care. Like, who cares, dude? They don't affect my bottom line. I've got a whole group of other people that support me and want me to win. And the quicker that they all can get to that in the psychological process of this, which is, it's like an 11-step process of when you get fired. It's just the human nature of what happens. We'll be here waiting for them, and I think the No Way Jose podcast is going to fucking have a long line of followers.
Hey, great guy. Guy. One of the nicest guys I met there. There were some people at the Performance Center who were not so nice to me, and I would still help them.
Yeah.
But I won't forget. One last thing, and I'll let you close it out, but I want to add this thing because you brought up a great point. The scariest part about it being all on you is that it's all on you.
Mm-hmm.
The best part about it being all on you is the fact that it's all on you. If that makes sense.
You kind of have to live it to understand it.
Scary every day you wake up. Some days suck, but the days that are good are much better than any days where you're waiting for the call.
Although all the downtime you have now while you're a WWE person or wherever, this is anybody, not just WWE, and if you're furloughed, shut the fuck up. Is, what are you doing with that time to improve your life and expand? Are you just waiting for somebody else to give you the green light to go back? Or are you going to empower yourself to say, here's my skills, here's how I can do it, and I love doing this. So when you get up and work 7 a.m. till 11 at night every day, 7 days a week, there's never a feeling of like dread of like, fuck, I gotta go drive and go to work and do this, that, or the other for somebody else. You are inspired, always pushing forward, new ideas. It's a different mindset altogether. And hopefully all of them, but I don't think all of them, but a good amount of them can learn that early on and be early adopters of that, know and go to their support systems that they've had in the past and use what really their value is, which is what Stevie's is, having the WWE, ECW, WCW brand on him to bring that following along. But it's not just living off that nostalgia. You have to present something new, an updated version of the future, and they'll follow you along that path. But if you're just going to fucking rely on Scott Hall and Nash and them going to fucking do signings, there isn't going to be much past that, dude, for you, So, y'all, I hope all of our brothers and sisters can kick out of the depression state. I'll be keeping an eye on a fair amount of them, and you never know who's going to spring up here. hackerhameen.podbean.com, just looking to talk. I'm excited to hear about the real Saudi stooges and all that kind of shit that's going to happen here pretty soon, as people are probably got a lot of bones to pick, that they've been sitting on it and not wanting to fucking say the dirty words, but I'm sure Hannibal's going to have a hell of a lot of shoots on his hand.
Oh yeah, I think he's already had a couple people he's talked to. That's my that's my guess. You got to give it to him, man. He gets the interviews.
Absolutely.
And Val Venus is the big one right now, like you heard earlier. I have to remember that the CTE probably kicked in, or I just probably forgot because it infuriated me so much. Yeah. I blocked it out. I tend to be able to do that now. Like, I was in that match. Oh, okay. I remember now.
Right. StevieRichardsFitness.com, you guys. Stay healthy. Get the blood pumping. You don't got to worry about respiratory. The gym shut down. It's the best thing you can do. You join that. It is such an affordable price. Ridiculous. The new power bands are back in stock. Put you right into the Stevie Richards Fitness Help Group, and right away start your journey, guys. We're there to support you. Like I said, not just the wrestling friends, but all of our followers who are coming along on this mission of success that we have dedicated ourselves to. Sometimes we can get negative, but guess what? In the face of lies and liars, you got to tell the truth. And if that means tell them to shut the fuck up, sit down and eat your pudding, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I'm a man's man, and so is Big Stevie Cool. And you can be too if you go to Force USA, use the code Stevie5 to get your power rack after you've completed your Stevie Richards fitness journey and step up your weight game. You're going to save more, and we're all going to move forward together. How'd I do, Stevie?
That was great. You triggered me with the all move forward together thing, though.
Oh, yeah?
We actually mean it when we say we all want to move forward together.
Yeah.
Not like we're all in this together. Now buy our car, and we'll be 4 months down the line, we're going to double your interest on the car. But until then, we're all in it together.
Yeah, I mean, that's all savings, and everything else is free here at hackerhameen.podbean.com. Appreciate all the bit cheers from all the diehards. We know times are tough, you guys, but who knows? Maybe those $1,200 checks are hitting. I've heard a couple people already got theirs. I haven't seen anything.
I got mine.
Did you? It wasn't the.
That was a stimulus check.
Okay.
I told my wife I'm going to give her half. So
I better go check with my wives. They might have already cut up my nut and fucking they're always spent on Amazon. So who knows?
So 100. How many wives do you have?
432.
I'm gonna. We got to do it now. 432 times 12. All right, 432 times 1,200. You're going to get $518,400.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Plus,
it's under like a 310 thing from the IRS is the stimulus,
and it's 500 for kids, so 1,182 kids. I'm probably getting over $1 million now.
You are. You could rehire all those wrestlers to just got 1,200 times what? 134.
Yeah.
134.
11, oh no, 11.
Nah, you can only rehire about like a third of them. That was 100 and some thousand, so about $700,000.
Well, fuck the revival. That's how it goes here at the Locker Room, Infidels. Hacker Hameen, Big Stevie Cool. Follow us at BWO Stevie. He won't respond. At bin_Hameen, I'll send you a Vince McMahon or a Triple H angry gif. But we're doing it here real big 7 days a week. Y'all.